You unlock this portal with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another relay, a relay of sound, a relay of sight, a relay of mind. You're moving into a dimension of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the SegWit zone. Old Man Joe was adored by all his family. He had his quirks, but got along well with others. His passion for puzzles engulfed him in his retirement years. Joe likes the thrill of making puzzles as much as seeing people solve them. In just a moment, his family will need to solve one more puzzle from Joe, and it might change their lives forever in the SegWit zone. The priest began the funeral service.
Joe Friedman was a fun-loving person. His passions in retirement were puzzles and coin collecting. He is survived by his older son, Robert, and younger daughter, Linda.
As the priest went on, the ceremony continued as usual and lasted for about 2 hours. As it came to an end, the attendees said their last goodbyes to Joe and gave their condolences to the family. The immediate family were then ushered into the cremation room. The room had a plain beige linoleum floor and was made up with 4 simple gray walls with no decorations. It would have felt cold in that room if not for the cremation oven keeping it warm. 2 big closed metal doors stood between the oven and Joe's casket, resting on a metal conveyor belt.
Before the cremation begins, do the loved ones have anything they want to send off with him?
Asked the funeral home manager.
Yes, my father loved these coins, board games, and crossword puzzles. They are of no monetary value, and we have enough items at home to remember him by,
said Linda with a tear streaking down her cheek.
I think it would make him happy to have these with him wherever he may be,
added Robert as he placed the items into the coffin. Robert pushes the big red button on the side of the oven, swinging open the 2 metal doors and putting the conveyor belt in motion. The casket rolled into the oven with the doors closing in behind it. Within 5 seconds, the oven roared to life. The intense heat could be felt through the insulated, thick metal of the furnace. Linda placed a hand on Robert's shoulder.
It's time. We have an appointment with the lawyer, and then we still have to head back to clean out the family home.
Robert nodded. His head hung low as he somberly walked out of the room. Both Robert and Linda had many worries to think about. Certainly the sadness of their father's passing weighed heavily on their minds. But the funeral service and estate settlement were also very costly affairs to deal with. On top of that, Robert recently lost his job and Linda was a single mother with 2 kids in her care. Robert and Linda arrived at the lawyer's building and were curtly led to their lawyer's office by the secretary. It was a hot July day, and there wasn't any air conditioning in this old building. The windows were opened, but the air was stagnant. The building also gave off a musty smell that intensified in the summer heat. The lawyer's office was cramped, with piles of papers strewn all around his desk and cabinets.
Robert, Linda, hello. So good to see you two. How are we doing today?
Exclaimed the middle-aged, short, balding lawyer rising from his rickety chair.
Not the greatest, Mr. Wriggler. We just came from our father's funeral service.
A sudden change of expression came across the lawyer's face, an attempt to show what seemed like an act of empathy.
But of course, how careless of me. My deepest condolences, and please call me Patrick.
Patrick starts to dig through piles of his paper in front of him, and then proceeds to walk over to the furthest cabinet from his desk.
Friedman. Ah, here it is. So let's get down to business. Are you two aware your father left a pretty detailed plan for his estate and will?
No, we actually were quite surprised when you called. Our father did not share any of this with us.
True. This isn't an easy topic to bring up normally.
Patrick remarked, then continued to explain the general outline Joe had left about his estate. Everything seemed pretty normal, as far as Robert and Linda could tell.
Ah, and here is the special part. This is why I am involved. There is a passcode for each of you. Please sign here, and here. Inside that envelope are your codes.
What is this for?
Asked Linda.
Well, it's your access code, and with your biometrics, you can sign on to the Life Legacy blockchain. You know, the private network thingy that holds people's last messages for their loved ones.
I know what the Life Legacy blockchain is, but why did my father have this set up? When did he even learn how to use something like this?
No idea. I'm just here to execute his will.
Explained the lawyer. Linda and Robert opened their phones, logged into the Life Legacy app, and entered in all their information, scanned their retina, face, fingerprint, and were prompted to enter in the code given to them by the lawyer. In it, they open a text document that read,
Dear Rob and Lynn, no doubt when you are reading this letter, I have already left you both. I want to say that you don't have to feel too bad that I am gone. I loved you both dearly, and I wanted to give you one last gift. Maybe you two can spend some time together now and also have a little bit of fun doing that. You may find this to be very paranoid of me, but I have read too many stories and heard too many tales about people losing their Bitcoin. I am aware of how dangerous it would be to keep something so valuable and important entrusted with a bank or a third party. I also wasn't ignorant and knew I could be robbed. I didn't mean to keep this from you both, but I felt if I had shared this knowledge with you two while I was still around, it might put you both at risk. So I have secretly consigned this lawyer and instructed him to use Life Legacy to deliver my message. Sorry for all the secrecy. It means a lot to me that I keep this safe. There are roughly 256 Bitcoins I have stored away. I can't share too much information in case this isn't my Rob and Lynn reading this message. So without further ado, here is a hint that will help you on your way to finding my treasure. What once was valuable was no more. There is always another side to this round door. Freedom is as clear blue skies. There you will bid your financial troubles goodbye.
What's Bitcoin?
Linda asked Robert after finishing reading the message first.
Not here, Linda. Let's talk when we get to the house.
Hushed Robert. The brother and sister thanked the lawyer, paid their fees, and left for their father's house.
What's going on, Robert? Why haven't you said a word since the lawyer's office?
Protested Linda.
It wasn't safe to talk there. I understand why Dad went through all the troubles to keep this so hidden. Do you know how much 256 Bitcoins are worth?
No, I don't even know what a Bitcoin is. Is it some sort of digital currency or something?
Not just any cryptocurrency, the most important one. One Bitcoin is worth more than $2 million right now.
Cried Robert. Linda was stunned. She didn't know how to respond. Robert continued.
Yeah. We have to find this. I can't even process how much that is either. But most importantly, Dad wanted us to have it, and he went through all this trouble to hide it from others. The good thing is, he made it really easy. This isn't even a real puzzle. He basically left it out in the open if you knew what you were looking for.
Yeah, I know. This isn't really much of a riddle. The round door was where Dad liked to keep his collections of sorts, and he always commented how the door was round and looked funny. The cabinet has been in our family since we were kids, but what I didn't get was what he was saying about once valuable but was no more in the first part of the riddle.
Puzzled Linda.
Oh, that's easy. Fiat currency. The coins that Dad likes to collect, those aren't worth anything anymore. Wait, where are those coins?
Oh no.
Linda fell silent and started to tremble.
What is it, Linda? Where are those coins?
Robert asked again.
You told me to get things. I didn't know. I really didn't know. I mean, I thought they were worthless, like you said. I gave them to you to cremate this morning.
Robert rushed to the cabinet, flung open the round cabinet door. There they found a worn-out round patch on the surface of the inner cabinet, where the coin jar once stood. Behind the scuffled patch laid a single fiat coin that fell out when Linda was moving things around earlier that morning. As Robert reached out and picked up the coin and flipped it over, it showed a single word, zone, that belonged to the 24-word seed phrase of Joe's private key. Joe Friedman, age 79, passed away due to natural causes. Joe thought he was being clever and diligent in protecting those he loved and what he loved. thinking that keeping things well hidden could save him and his family from misfortune. But tonight, the only fortune to be had was a lost one in the SegWit Zone.